All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a few minutes late because I had to wait for dinner, and yet I cannot have dinner yet because I have this podcast. Anyway, I hope you're having a really happy midweek. It's the middle of the week, it's Wednesday once again, and we are about to cover Empowerment Wednesdays. But before that, I'd like to greet everyone in the audience. Hello, Sir Joseph. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, ma'am. This is Forever. Thank you for tuning in. Hope all is well with you. I know it's raining really hard in the metro. I'm not sure what's the weather outside of the metro, but it's raining in my corner of the metro. So I hope everyone's safe and comfortable and cozy, and you're having a warm cup of coffee or maybe champorado. I don't know. I'm really craving for champorado, but I don't know how to cook, so I'll just be ordering hopefully. Hopefully there's still a store open to cater and serve champorado. We have we're back to the 10 p.m. curfew. I'm not sure outside of Manila, but in Metro Manila it's back to the 10 p.m. curfew. So yeah, and the only problem with curfew is actually just the food, when you're craving in the middle of the night and you don't know where to order, you don't know how to cook, but you definitely have to order, and yet the restaurants are closed. So anyway, hope you're well and comfortable wherever you are in. We are going to talk about green flags in a relationship. Now, this is a very interesting topic. I have green flags and red flags. We've been encountering these words, especially with the millennials, talking about relationships. So there are red flags and green flags. I mean, when we were younger, these flags didn't even exist, but now we keep on talking about it. And yet, again, we are in this podcast episodes, we are talking about things that are, just your typical office conversations, workplace conversations, and yet they're not in the mainstream, in any mainstream media. That's why we are going to talk about something that is an office conversation and yet it's not talked about in the mainstream. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, to those who are watching live, thank you so much for tuning in. To those who are watching the replay, thank you so much. Hope you can also drop by and post some comments if you feel that you can relate to the video, I mean to the podcast episode, or if you can relate to the topic, please feel free to post your comments there. You can also share your experiences if you wish. I'm definitely reading all of your messages, even the ones which are on replay or the ones you're sending via PM. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. And once again, to those who do not know me yet and yet you're here, thank you so much. My name is Ivreen. I'm a real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm also a motivational speaker and a writer. And tonight, our topic is all about Empowerment Wednesdays. Our topic is green flags in a relationship. Why do we really need to talk about this? Well, that's because every now and then we are in a relationship, and that doesn't matter what kind of relationship we are in, but we need to know if the relationship that we are in have been showing or are manifesting green flags. So let me share my screen. There you are. Okay, so I think that pretty much looks like a flag. It's green and black and red and white. All right, so anyway, again, our topic for tonight is green flags in a relationship. So if you have a question, by the way, don't hesitate to post them on the comment section. You can also share your experiences if you wish. This is a no judgment zone. I encourage everyone to speak up and share whatever you want to share. You never know who's gonna benefit from your sharing. Okay, so hello, Mom Jazz. Thank you so much for tuning in. And welcome back, by the way. I think you've been really busy, no, Ma'am Jazz? Kaya ngayon lang ulit kayo nakapanood. Ayun. So anyway, okay, what's a green flag? Again, well, it's actually a slang. It's not like it's a formal word. But green flag means it's a sign that indicates a good trait about someone or something. So it can be a green flag about a relationship, a green flag about work, a green flag about something else. But for tonight, we are going to talk about green flags in a relationship. Okay. So, what are the green flags that are actually red flags? Okay, kasi 'di ba pag sinabi nating green flags, this is something that's positive. Kaya nga siya green, that means go, 'di ba? When you are driving and you see green, you can actually drive, but when it's a red, you should stop. So, tonight we are going to talk about the first thing that we're going to talk about aside from the definition is the green flags that are actually red flags. So you think that this manifestations or these characteristics are green flags, but they're not. Okay, what are these? The first one is at your beck and call. What does at your beck and call mean? Okay. So when you call someone, there in normal circumstances, people don't always come running to you, right? There are times that people will tell you that sorry, I can't make it tonight, I can make it today, I can't go there or things like that. But there are people who are always at your beck and call. And this is not a good sign, okay? Because that means that either they can't be controlled, which is not a good thing. You shouldn't be controlled by anyone, or that person just obsessed with you, and they're always at your beck and call. You can call them anytime during the day, and they will be there for you in a jiffy. So this is a red flag. People shouldn't always be available for everyone. That means another thing is that means they also don't have boundaries for themselves. So if you are in a relationship where the other person is always available for you, I think that, well, not only I think, I believe that that's a red flag. You should not tolerate people who are always controlled by somebody else. Okay. Next, when a person makes you laugh all the time. And what does that mean? When the other person always jokes like all the time, even though um during serious circumstances or during serious situations, they still make you laugh. Okay, so it's a red flag because there's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry, there's a time to mourn, there's a time to be excited. But if that person always makes you laugh, I believe we're avoiding those words that I think, right? So that's also a red flag. A person should know when to be serious, especially if you are in a serious circumstance or a serious scenario. Hello, Sir Tayag. Thank you po. Good evening din. Keep safe din po. Okay, another thing is when they always look put together. So when a person is always like, alam mo yun, yung parang ayos na ayos lagi, yung parang hindi man lang maging messy kahit isang pirasong buhok niya, parang ganon. So when a person always looks put together, that means that that person will never show his or her vulnerable side, because we are not perfect. So when a person always looks perfect, na parang lahat planchado, pati buhok, damit, lahat planchado, lahat maganda yung itsura, ganyan. Always, like all the time, 24/7, there's something wrong. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung taong yan, hindi niya kaya maging vulnerable sa'yo. Hindi niya kayang ipakita yung vulnerability niya. And speaking of always looks put together, I think my hair is really messy again. Pasensya na. Parang, well, totoo, hindi talaga ako nagsuklay. Binaba ko lang yung hair. Kanina it was in a bun. So anyway, so again, when a person always looks put together, there must be something wrong. Not only with a person, but also with his or her mindset, maybe. All right, next is, ta-da! When a person is invested in your drama. Anong ibig sabihin ng invested in your drama? So, especially for women, women tend to have dramas, especially when we are having our that monthly thing. We have a week before menstruation. I've said this several times in several episodes, but I will say it again. Women have that, 1 week prior to menstruation, we have like so many things going on. We have so many emotions to deal with, and we don't even understand what these emotions are sometimes. And yet, if there's a person who's always invested in your drama, like pinapatulan niya yung mga kadramahan mo lagi sa buhay, that's a red flag. Because a person shouldn't enable you to invest in all these drama. Much and worse, nakikisawsaw pa siya sa drama mo sa buhay. So dapat hindi ganon. And when we say drama, ito yung mga wala na talagang katuturan ha. Because iba yung drama sa meron kang emotional na pinagdadaanan. Drama is different from, you are having an emotional situation when you're, for example, you are really in a, you are in a bad position, ganyan, so people tend to be emotional. But drama is another thing, yung wala naman talagang mga katuturan, nakikipag-away lang lagi, ganyan, inaaway ka lang lagi. It's drama, walang dahilan. Remember, we talked about emotional thinker and logical thinker last time. So, iba pa 'to. Kapag lagi-lagi na lang nangyayari na inaaway ka for no reason at all, that's already drama, because, later on I will be talking about healthy arguments. Okay? So, when a person is always invested in your drama, that's a red flag. Kasi minsan may isip natin, alam mo, I'm so happy kasi kahit na lagi ko siyang inaaway, siya pa rin yung unang nagso-sorry sa'kin. And that's not a good thing, you know? Adults in a healthy relationship don't do that. Okay? Kasi hindi kayo makikipag-away for nothing. Okay? Um, Hello, Sir Aquino. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, next is okay, teaser. Ano ba yung teaser dito sa commercial? Teaser yung lagi kang inaano, ano ba sa Tagalog yun? Yung parang lagi kang, kung kanino may pinapatawa lagi. Dito naman sa teaser, lagi kang, I don't know the Tagalog word for it. Yung lagi kang tinitease, lagi kang inaasar. Tama ba yung Tagalog ko? Paki-comment naman po kung tama yung pinagsasabi kong translation. So, yung lagi kang inaasar, yon, it's also a red flag kasi hindi lahat ng oras dapat inaasar ka. And also, there are people who don't like to be teased at all. So if you're in a relationship and that person always teases you, and he knows or she knows that you don't like to be teased and he or she still does that, that's a red flag. Kasi ako, ayokong basta-basta akong inaasar. Kasi syempre, I'm very, by the way, I laugh all the time, but I'm very serious when it comes to work. Especially sa trabaho, sobrang seryoso talaga ako. It's very rare that you will see me goofing around at work. Very, very, very rare. I take work very seriously. So when a colleague keeps on teasing me in the workplace, I actually call that person out. Hindi ako komportable na inaasar ako pagdating sa work. Because, this is the workplace. The workplace. There's a place for fun. There's a time for fun. But when we are in the workplace, I don't like to be teased. So, ganon. Kung lagi ka nalang tinitis nung taong yon, that's also a red flag. And you should be calling that person out. Hindi siya dapat tinotolerate. Kasi lalong-lalo na kung if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Okay, another thing is, okay, so we are also going to talk about green flags. So yun yung mga green flags na mukhang green pero red flag talaga siya. So ano naman yung green flags in a relationship? Ito yung mga positive manifestations in a relationship that you should continue and that you should, stick to. Okay, una dyan, okay, this I totally love. Comfortable silence. Um, I have so many friends who are like this to me. Yung hindi ako komportable magsalita, ayoko lang magsalita. I'm going through something and yet I don't want to say something. That's what we mean by comfortable silence. And they're comfortable with that. Like, they're okay. Kasama mo sila pero hindi ka nagsasalita. That's okay. And that's okay with them. Hindi ka nila pipilitin magsalita. And also, if you are, if you are a lady, if you are a woman listening to me right now or watching this podcast episode right now, common kasi sa atin tong mga babae, yung pinipilit natin magsalita yung partner natin. kapagka may pinagdadaanan sila, gusto nating malaman, um, we should respect boundaries. Dapat we are comfortable even though we are, they are silent and they do not want to share anything. We should be comfortable with that. That's a green flag. We should know when to stop bothering people, to, we should know when to stop um pressuring people to speak up. Dapat gano'n. So that's a green flag. And we should respect boundaries. Kung ayaw nila magsalita, that's okay. There will be a time for them to speak up as well. Kung ayaw talaga nilang magsalita, that's also fine. We should respect that. Next is, okay, similar goals or dreams. So, green flag to sa relationship kasi kung pareho kayo ng goals tsaka ng dreams, okay, minsan kasi magkaiba kayo ng pangarap. And that's also okay. And for as long as yung pangarap ninyo makakatulong sa isa't isa, okay din yon. Hindi naman kasi, kagaya niyan, ang nangyayari kasi sa relationship, kung magkaiba kayo ng goals, magkaiba kayo ng paths, minsan nagiging cause siya ng conflict. So, maganda kung meron kayong similar goals and dreams. Halimbawa, pareho ninyong gustong magpakasal at pareho ninyong gustong pakasalan yung isa't isa. Gets nyo? Kesa naman, kesa naman, oo, pareho kayong gustong magpakasal, pero yung isa, hindi naman ikaw yung gustong pakasalan. Alam mo yun? Yun talaga yung red flag. Pareho kayo ng goal, pero magkaibang tao yung gusto ninyong pakasalan. Asan ang hustisya doon? 'Di ba? So, dapat similar goals and dreams. Tapos, kung hindi man kayo pareho ng goals and dreams, dapat, ano ba tawag do'n? Dapat complementary with each other yung mga pangarap ninyo. Hello, Maestra D. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, hello. Okay. Next is similar values. Okay. So, of course, I'm gonna walk on eggshells here kasi syempre iba-iba tayo ng values. But ako personally naman, no, I'm not saying that we should all have the same perspective about this. But people in relationships should have similar values. Dapat pareho sila ng pinahahalagahan. Halimbawa, pareho nilang pinahahalagahan ang, let's say, family-orientedness. Diba? They should have those similar values. Or pareho sila, let's just say, no? Kasi I know that there are people out there who are watching now or who are watching on replay na hindi kayo pareho ng culture. Kasi also, values din yun eh. Di ba merong tinatawag na religious values, cultural values. So, maganda kung meron kayong similar values. At kung hindi man kayo pareho ng religion, hindi kayo pareho ng culture, hindi kayo pareho ng ethnicity, at least yung mga generic na values na meron kayo, magkapareho kayo. For example nga, yun, yung family-oriented, di ba? Faithfulness, ganyan, loyalty, honesty, integrity, at least yun man lang pareho kayo ng values. Okay, next would be open communication. Okay, and when we say open communication, there are times that that person is not comfortable to speak up. Hindi lang puro talk, talk, talk actually, yung open communication. When we say open communication, you are comfortable to talk to each other and you are also comfortable not talking to each other. Yun. When I need space, I actually tell people that I need space. I even tell my mom and my family about that. When I don't want to talk, I tell them. Kasi that's what we mean by open communication. Kasi minsan iniisip ng mga tao that open communication is only about talking to each other and being comfortable talking to each other. On the other hand, actually, open communication is also about being comfortable not talking to each other. And you trust that everything is well. Pero meron kayong space na kung ayaw magsalita ng isa, that's also okay. So that's also a part of open communication. Hindi naman laging salita lang ng salita yung open communication. Next is, okay, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Yung drama iba sa productive arguments. So, what is productive arguments? When we say productive arguments, nagtatalo kayo na may dahilan. at merong kahihinatnan. You are in a productive argument when you know that there's a positive output out of that argument. You're not just arguing over what to cook, or if your sinigang is better than hers, or than, 'di ba? Yung ganon. Hindi hindi naman siguro productive argument yung pinag-aawayan niyo lang kung anong susuotin ninyo, ganon. Pero kung yung argument ninyo, ang pinag-uusapan ninyo is something that's gonna give you gains, 'di ba? Merong gain dun sa argument na yun. That it's called a productive argument. So maraming mga arguments kasing parang wala naman talagang katuturan, 'di ba? Parang nag-argue na lang for the sake of arguing. That's not also not healthy. I'm speaking na lang for myself. I'll speak na lang for myself. Hindi ko alam kung puro kaedad ko yung nanonood. Okay? Kasi kapag tumatanda ka, mare-realize mo na yung mga arguments, hindi mo na talaga siya palalakihin. Lalong-lalo na kung mas marami pang importanteng bagay na kailangang isipin. 'Di ba? Next is opposite interests. Okay, so kung kanina meron tayong similar values, maganda rin yung meron kayong opposite interests. Kasi it also encourage each of you to explore outside of your relationship. For example, magkaiba kayo ng hobbies, that's also good. It's not a red flag if you have a totally opposite set of interests. That's also okay kasi the more you, for example, magkaiba kayo ng interests, 'di ba? You can also share that interest with your partner, and your partner can also do the same for you. And both of you can actually grow from it, 'di ba? Hindi, wag kayong magpilitan na, "Uy, gusto ko mag-golf, dapat naggo-golf ka rin." Or gusto ko mag lawn tennis, dapat mag-lawn tennis ka rin. O kaya gusto ko yung Japanese food, dapat mag-Japanese food ka rin. You can explore outside of the relationship. Alam niyo 'yun? You can have different hobbies, different interests, and not force the other person to do the same. Pero puwede kayong mag-share, 'di ba? Kung gusto niyong i-share na ito yung nangyari sa golf ano ninyo, golf tournament ninyo or whatever. Ito yung nangyari sa pagpapasalon niyo, okey lang din naman, 'di ba? Support each other's interests, because that's a good sign, or that's a sign of a healthy relationship. Huwag kayong magpilitan. Kanya-kanyang ano, sabi nga 'di ba, kanya-kanyang trip. Also, another green flag in a relationship is when you challenge each other. Ano ibig sabihin ng challenge each other? Hindi yung ano, hindi yung challenge na parang binubully mo or parang mockery, hindi gano'n. When you challenge each other, ang meaning naman nito is you are challenging each other to grow, 'di ba? Meron kang nalaman na nakakatulong, icha-challenge mo siya, "Uy, alam mo ba, ito yung natutunan ko, baka gusto mo ring gawin." Gano'n. Hindi yung icha-challenge mo kasi parang out of mockery lang, sige nga gawin mo." Mga bata, 'di ba? "Hindi, I bet hindi mo kaya 'yan." Gano'n pa, 'di ba? So, hindi gano'ng way. Ang sinasabi natin ditong challenge is you're challenging each other to grow in a very good way, 'yan. So, dapat ini-inspire niyo yung isa't isa na mag-grow kayo pareho. And even if sobrang matagal na kayo sa relationship, it's still a good thing to challenge each other to grow together. Next is chemistry. Okay, ano ba yung chemistry? Kasi 'di ba, um, love na love ko yung yung chemistry subject, kasi meron akong chemistry teacher when I was in high school na sobrang galing niya talaga magturo, as in sobrang galing niya. I can remember her lectures, but I cannot remember her name. I cannot remember, I'm such a bad student. Okay, but I remember that she's a very, very, very good chemistry teacher. So anyway, sana matagpuan ko siya soon, and gusto ko mag-thank you sa kanya. So anyway, I learned a lot from our chemistry teacher in the past. So advanced chem teacher ko siya. Um, ano bang ibig sabihin ng chemistry? Sa chemistry ko kasi natutunan na maraming chemicals, 'di ba? At merong mga chemicals na 'pag pinagsama mo, puwede silang sumabog. May mga chemicals na kapag pinagsama mo, maganda silang pagsamahin. So, gano'n din sa relationship. When there's chemistry between the two of you, 'di ba? In that relationship, that's also a green flag. Yung 'pag pinagsama kayo, parang maganda kayong pagsamahin. You complement each other instead of exploding with each other, gano'n. 'Pag pinagsama kayo, parang bumabango yung chemical, sige mabango yung chemical, 'di ba may mga gano'n 'pag pinagsama mo sila bumabango sila or 'pag pinagsama mo sila gumaganda yung color nung chemical, 'di ba? So, gano'n din dapat sa relationship to be able to know if that's a green flag, you have chemistry, masaya kayo 'pag magkasama kayo, maganda kayong ano, maganda yung relationship ninyo. Kahit ibang tao nagsasabi sila na, "Oh, maganda kayong, kasama, masarap kayong kasama as a couple." Kasi may gano'n, eh, masarap kayong kasama individually, pero 'pag kasama yung couple parang it makes something awkward. I've encountered that several times na parang individually okay ang couple, like okay sila, like okay si girl, okay si guy, pero magkasama sila in one table parang, okay, hindi ko masyadong na-feel yung vibe doon, parang iba yung vibe. So, may gano'n. That's when we feel like that, that's actually the lack of chemistry. So, yun yung sinasabi natin ditong chemistry. Hi, Mark! Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi! Ayan, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, kailan ba natin makikita? When do we start seeing green flags in a relationship? I mean, is it too early ba to say na, I cannot see green flags yet kasi kaka-start lang ng relationship namin? Or, I've already seen so many green flags, but it was on our fifth year, parang ganon. So, when can we start seeing green flags? And before that, I'd like to say shout out to the Poms. Thank you, thank you. Special shout outs. Hello, Mark. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Okay, number one. Number one talaga may numbering. Okay, when do we start seeing green flags? When they let their guards down. And I've said this earlier about vulnerability. When people tend to, when people show their vulnerable side, hindi sila nagpapanggap na strong sila, ganyan. Nakikita mo rin yung weakness nila every now and then. So that means that's already a good enough indicator na as early as that time, nakakakita ka na ng green flag. Alam mo yung mga pa-strong, kahit may pinagdadaanan pa-strong. Actually, well, there's nothing wrong with vulnerability. I mean, that's what makes us human, right? Next is, ay, ano ba? Nasobrahan yung press ko. Okay. Another indicator or another time that you will see that people are letting are you that you can see green flags is how they act around you versus how they act around others. So, meron akong forgot anong movie yon. Pero anyway, so it was this big guy na talagang super muscled and all. Nung sayo, yung sayo, nung kasama niya yung girl niya, parang patwitam siya, ganyan, nasira yung tiyan niya, hindi siya puwedeng kumain nito, ganyan. Ta's biglang dumating yung guy friend ni guy, bigla siyang nagsabi na, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I love this food." Gumanon siya kahit na kahit na earlier sinasabi niya pa lang na na-upset yung tiyan niya doon sa food na yun. Ta's nung dumating yung guy friend niya, biglang sabi niya, um, ano ba tawag dun, na he's okay with the food, that he loved it kahit na hindi. So, this is also another point in time where you can already see green flags. Kung nagbabago totally yung ugali niya, pagkasama niya yung mga friends niya versus pagkasama ka niya, that may be an indicator that there's something wrong, that there's something that's not right. Okay? So, sabihin na natin, sige, hindi siya wrong, pero there's something that's not right. Hindi nagfi-fit yung puzzle. Hindi tumutugma. Iba yung ugali niya pagdating sa'yo, iba yung ugali niya pagdating sa ibang tao. That's an indicator, right? Okay, another one is when you argue. Actually, maganda naman ang isang benefit ng argument early on in the relationship is you will already know if that person or the other person will show a green flag or a red flag. So, kung nasa early stage pa lang kayo ng relationship, that's actually a good time to argue with the other person. Tingnan ninyo kung ano yung kalalabasan. Pero, again, reasonable argument, productive argument ha. Hindi yung argue na patwita. Tawa-tawa talaga ako sa mga words na ginagamit ko. Feeling ko hindi na nakaka-relate yung mga younger audience dyan. Tweetums, ano ba yung pa-tweetums? Sa ano? Iba na kasi yung terms ngayon, no? Ng mga kabataan. Tweetums. Okay. Next is when they're emotional. Okay. When you will be able to see green flags as early as, you know, as early as, even in the earlier stage pala of the relationship, when the other person is emotional. Hindi naman emotional to na hysterical Emotional in a sense na masayang-masaya sila or malungkot sila or may pinagdadaanan sila, you will already be able to see as early on in the relationship. Pwede na ninyong makita kung pwede na kayong makakita pala ng green flag. Kasi again, when people are emotional, they tend to cross the line. Kasi there's a very thin line when you're crossing that border. Napakaliit lang ng line na yan. It is a very thin line. So when you're happy, 'di ba? Pag masaya ka, actually, you're crossing the line. When you are sad, you are crossing the line. Kasi, ano ba yung line na kino-cross? Kasi, um, yung line na kino-cross is tinatawag siyang neutral. Wala kang emosyon. Pero pagka masaya ka, nagko-cross ka ng line na yon. So when people are emotional, you're crossing the line. So you already know kung magpapakita ba siya ng red flag or ng green flag. Alright. Also, by the way, people's emotions can also be attributed to age. So, kung overly emotional, usually mga medyo bata-bata, yun pa yung mga medyo overly emotional. Kasi pag pumata kayo ng mga 30-ish, hindi na masyado. Take that from me. Take that from ate. Okay. Asa na ba? Ayun. So, last slide na pala natin to. Right. So, it's funny when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses. All the red flags just look like flags. Okay, ano ba yung rose-colored glasses? When you're in a relationship, and lalong-lalo na kung matagal na ligawan ang naganap, ang nangyayari sa relationship na yan is parang masyado nating pinifilter yung nakikita natin. Parang we are doing our best to justify even though nagma-manifest sila ng negative behavior towards us or negative attitudes towards us or maybe negative actions in general. So, hindi natin masyadong pinapansin kasi nga, sabi nga natin, love natin sila. Kaya hindi natin masyadong pinupuna kung ano man yung nakikita natin hindi masyadong maganda. Minsan nga, hindi na natin napapansin at all. But I'll be closing my talk by saying that if you really love a person, you will not enable that person to manifest negative attitudes, not even towards you, not even towards other people, and not even towards himself or herself. Kung talagang mahal mo ang isang tao, dapat nakaka-contribute ka sa growth niya, dapat nakaka-contribute ka sa ikabubuti niya, at hindi ka dapat nakaka-contribute sa ikasasama niya, ng ugali niya, ng actions niya, at lalong-lalo na ng attitude niya towards sa sarili niya. So again, if you are in a relationship, maybe hindi lang naman tayo yung dapat maging mindful sa green flag ng ibang tao or sa red flag ng ibang tao. Sometimes we are also the ones manifesting the red flag. Baka naman tayo mismo pala yung nagma-manifest ng red flag. So let's think about it. Let's not always look too far. Let's not always look at the other person. Maybe kaya din sila nagma-manifest ng negative or ng negative behaviors or ng red flag is because we are helping them to become like that. Let's think about that as well. And again, no judgments. I'm not saying that we are doing it right right at this very moment. Let's also think about that in a way that we should also be, ano ba tawag doon, mag-introspect din tayo. Let's also take a look at ourselves. Are we doing them a favor by tolerating them? Or are we making them worse? Or maybe tayo mismo, meron din tayong mga negative characteristics. Let's not, real talk lang tayo, di ba? Marami din namang panahon or marami din namang oras na tayo din nagma-manifest ng negative behavior. Baka naman tayo din yung nagma-manifest ng red flag. So, let's always take a look at ourselves before we look at other people. Kasi remember, everything begins with us. So, if we do not tolerate negative behavior, we will also receive positive behavior. Ganun siya. Okay? So, hope you have learned a thing or two from our podcast episode entitled Green Flags in a Relationship. I'm very happy to talk about this topic because I've been asked several times about this topic. And sorry, ngayon ko lang siya na discuss in a podcast episode, but I'm really happy and grateful that a lot of people are sending me messages and suggesting topics. Yung iba, hindi pa natin na pag-uusapan kasi nga wala pa tayong speaker na mas na mas ano ba tawag, na mas apt or mas appropriate to talk about certain topics which were suggested over private messages and yeah, and during previous podcast episodes. But I'm grateful because I have good news to the parents out there. I have recently invited a very good friend of mine who will be talking about parenting. Abangan ninyo yung episode niya and yung episode na magi-guest siya about parenting. So she has three lovely, beautiful kids. And yes, she's a full-time mom. So i-interview natin siya one of these days when she's ready. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that kasi that's one of the topics that I personally cannot talk about, but it's been constantly requested. So pagbibigyan natin ang ating mga followers at ang ating mga audience. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Hope you're comfortable where you are, wherever you are, and I hope you take care of your health. Meron na namang nagbabadyang lockdown. Nakita ko kanina, nabasa ko sa news. So hope you're taking care of yourselves, stay safe, stay healthy, and syempre kung magkakaroon man ng lockdown, please prepare please do your groceries, ganyan, do your kung ano pa man na kailangan ninyong gawin, do it now because I think the lockdown will be happening in August, third week or fourth week of August, ganun yata yung nabasa ko kanina. But again, please check the news so that you will know further about the lockdown. I'm not sure if it's a potential lockdown or it's already in the works. So take good care of yourselves. Hello, Annie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Sir Saglay. Thank you po for tuning in. And again, everyone, take good care of yourselves. Always pray kasi parang lumalala yung COVID, pero sabi nga namang nabasa ko kanina, huwag tayong matatakot sa Delta because we are protected by Alpha and Omega. That's our God, the beginning and the end. So let's all have stronger faith. Let's keep on praying for everyone's safety and for everyone's health. And until tomorrow, I'll see you again at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all. Bye.